So, coming on to the next session. Before we move on to the next session, I would have a small announcement. Of course, please don't forget that you have a Samsung Galaxy S4 to be won by the end of the next session. And the raffle's on, so please register as much as you can. And as you know, in the morning we announced Pearl Academy and Smart On. They are conducting a digital commerce talent survey for the sector. And all the delegates are given a questionnaire. So please fill it out and give your valuable inputs. Their staff would be distributing and collecting the filled form. Coming to a third session, specialized categories driving e-commerce. I just have to find out, I hope our panel is ready. We have Mr. Anshoo Sharma is the session moderator from Lightspeed Advisory Services India Limited. Our panel is Samir Saraiya from Digital eLife. Mr. Salil Agarwal from GoPeppers.com. Mr. Pushpinder Singh from TravelKhana.com. Mr. Samir Maheshwari from HealthCard.com and Mr. Mayank Singh from Jubliant Foodworks. If they are here, is the panel here? Okay. This panel would be focusing on specialized categories driving e-commerce. How to identify the right category and engage the customers. How feasible is it for businesses to thrive in terms of operations and service delivery? The e-commerce wave is a boon for their growth, or does it mean stiff competition? How should one market such a business? And again, I'd like to announce Mr. Anshoo Sharma, Vice President, Lightspeed Advisory Services India Limited. If he is here. Mr. Anshoo Sharma. In the meantime, if our panel is ready, Mr. Samir Saraiya, Chief Executive Officer, Digital eLife. I think my second 6 years, I think it's been the first time all the sessions are ending early. Salil Agarwal, co-founder and director, GoPeppers.com. If you are here, sir. Mr. Pushpinder Singh, co-founder and CEO, TravelKhana. He's here. So, uninterrupted food. Mr. Samir Maheshwari, co-founder, HealthCard.com. Mr. Mayank Singh, Senior Manager, Digital Commerce, Jubilant Foodworks, of course, Dominos. And Mr. Anshoo Sharma, Vice President, Lightspeed Advisory Services India Limited. Yep. Yes, you were announced earlier. You're first of the block. Yeah. Salil. Our session moderator, Mr. Anshoo Sharma.
Hi, am I audible? Good. Great. Thank you so much. We'll start with a quick round of introductions, just maybe a 1-minute brief, and then we can dive straight in. Samir, do you want to start off?
Hello. Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Samir Saraiya and I run India's first adult product website called that'spersonal.com. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Salil. I'm running an online grocery venture by the name GoPeppers.com.
Hi, this is Pushpinder Singh, and I'm running travelkhana.com, which is the pioneer for food delivery in trains across India.
Hi, I'm Samir Maheshwari. I'm the co-founder of healthcart.com. We are online e-commerce company focused on selling consumer healthcare products.
Hi, I'm Mayank Singh, and I'm from Dominos, and I'm managing the online business, online ordering of Dominos Pizza India.
Thanks, everyone. And I am Anshoo. I'm part of the Lightspeed Venture Partners team. We are a venture capital fund based out of the Valley and investing in US, Israel, China, and India. That was a very short introduction from you guys, so I will maybe go deeper as we come to you again. So I think there's the elephant in the room, and we'll start with that. Which is, why do verticals need to exist, given that the horizontals are getting large and the verticals almost are getting consolidated into the horizontals? It maybe doesn't apply as much to all of you, but let's get started on that, and as you maybe answer that, go a little bit into the nuance of your business.
Hello. Yeah. So, Anshoo, let me start in terms of the thought process. Everyone knows that the big boys are there, the Flipkart, the Snapdeals, the Amazons, and a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs here, I hope. So for me, the thought process was I was trying to look at doing something in e-commerce. And to do something in e-commerce, I can't be another Flipkart because that space is taken. And I didn't want to be, let's say, number 10 trying to do apparel or mobile phones or something which is fairly generic in nature. So I was looking for something as a niche to do in e-commerce, and my thought process was that most of the Indian websites or e-commerce sites were saying any one of three things. Either they were saying, buy from me, we'll give you convenience. A typical example is Flipkart. Or they were saying, buy from me, I'll give you the best price. Whether it was a Make My Trip or a Groupon or anyone playing the price card. And the third set were people who said, buy from me, I'll give you choice. You want baby products? I've got the range. You want health products? I've got Healthcart. Fashion products? Fashion and you. So for me, I said, I'm going to innovate and launch a fourth concept, saying that buy from me and nobody knows. And the whole concept was, why would you want to buy products at retail where you're embarrassed to buy these products at retail? Just buy them online or buy them through your mobile phone when no one's around, and the next thing you know, it's delivered to you. So at that point of time, there was nobody existing even doing this business or playing this card. And before I take more time, I would love to come back and say how we are looking at not only being the leaders in discrete delivery, but how we believe we will always be one step ahead of these big boys. And we will work with them where we do sell our products through their marketplaces, but at the same time, we will always maintain our individuality and excel in that. Yeah.
Okay, so just to maybe summarize, being discrete shopping was a big need which can't be done through the horizontals, and that's in a way a pain area that you've picked up and you're solving that.
Yes. So far, the big horizontals are not doing discrete delivery.
Yeah.
And we were the first ones to actually launch it, do it, and now we find a lot more people trying to copy us. It's not that the big horizontals will not get into it. They may get into it in future, but it's also a much smaller business for them compared to their mainline business. And the way we are heading in terms of the kind of innovations that we are planning in this, we always believe we'll be ahead of the race.
Great. So we should get into what are the kind of things that you're doing. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so why I started this online grocery business, because when my team and myself was working for corporates, that was a great pain to buy groceries in supermarkets, standing long in queues. You have to spend so much of fuel getting there, and you have to pick that up. So, at that point of time, the market was still untapped. Still this is untapped. None of the several players have entered into the market, although there are certain big players which are playing in the southernmost part of the country. But still, the northernmost part of the country is still untouched. I'm the only player in entire Delhi NCR who is delivering groceries online. So it's a huge market. It's a niche service that none of the major big players or the big brothers have entered into. But let's see what will be the future for online groceries.
Yeah, I've been a traveler myself, traveler in air and trains and buses. And what I realized is that there are 20 websites where you can go and buy a ticket from. But the real problem is when one is during the move. So I wanted to do a marketplace for every traveler, like a air traveler and a train traveler, and include every service, include food, include taxi on arrivals, include lodging, a lot of things. And I realized that I didn't want to boil the ocean, so I focused on this particular problem.
What is the product? Maybe
So the product is basically a train passenger who is going in a train across India, any place, in any train, in any of the 5,000 plus trains. Basically needs to have a food, and they don't want to have a food which is available from the pantry cars. Only 300 of the trains of the 5,500 long distance trains have pantry cars, and they are anyway being phased out. So basically that's the problem, that if I really ask the audience here, like how many of you have traveled in trains any time of your life, and in Indian trains? Okay,
everyone, it seems.
Substantial number. Okay, and how many of you had or really love to have food from the pantry cars?
There are a few.
So that's the problem. And I am clear that ours is like not a traditional e-commerce.
Yeah.
Ours is a problem which is very specific.
Yeah.
It could be actually much bigger than what the horizontal players in e-commerce are doing.
Yeah.
And it shows by what we are
Yeah,
telling
it's a very interesting problem. Your customer is moving, and the source is also moving. So
yeah, absolutely. So the customer is moving, and then there are other problems. So let me just share those. So one is customer is moving, and the trains are getting delayed. So we've got to track the trains and fulfill according to that. But that's only one small aspect of the problem. Then there are aspects as in, like, there are restaurants which are not really standardized. So it's like not a Dominos where there is a standard menu. You have different menus. Then there are within the menu items, if you go in south, they will not serve you idli during the evening. So if you cannot really order idli during the evening. Then there are things like if you go in south, they would give you a great food, but they would not really give you a spoon. Or even in north, when you're traveling or you're going to any other place and getting a packaged food, you may not really get a decent spoon from the restaurant. They will invest a lot into food and giving you good stuff. So there are many complexities.
Yeah, that sounds like none of the horizontals would ever even.
So there is a substantial, and I am a technologist, so basically I solved this.
Thanks. Samir?
Well, that's definitely a very, very tough problem to solve. But going back to the question, why verticals should ever exist when horizontals have scaled up so much, I think the analogy that I will draw in an offline world would be a departmental store, which is largely driven by convenience and humongous variety of products itself, versus a specialty store like a pharmacy, or it could be a specialty garment store. So the differences would be the department store will always move much bigger volumes given the amount of footfall it has, given the amount of product it has. What department store cannot do is customize the product buying experience for customers, and this mind share for buying certain type of products exists in a consumer's mind, and that is tapped really well by specialty players. So that is where the differences would be. Scale would be lower, but the way you will differentiate is a couple of ways. You define your product in a way so that, for example, there's a baby vertical. So you cater the navigation or the product so much that it is customized to a consumer so that people have a better discovery process or better buying experience. The other difference would be, I think, a lot of specialty players will rely on private label offering. So typically they can compete with pricing against the horizontals, but at the same time, can invest or go deep down into the categories they operate in. And I think the third one would be sort of the back-end operations. There are certain things which horizontals, just because it may be a smaller category for them, will never get into the nuances of sort of.
What would be an example, Samir?
So I think from a back-end perspective, I think Lenskart is a great example. Lenses, the back-end supply chain of a lenses is extremely complex. You have lenses, you have frames, then you have fitters, and then you also have customized sort of selling process of lenses. Another example which works for us is sort of consular-driven sort of approach to selling. So people have tremendous amount of questions when they want to buy healthcare products. I want to lose weight. Is this product right for me, or this product is right for me? If I just try to sell it as in buy and sell process, I will lose out on a lot of sales. But people are willing to pay slightly more, or maybe willing to buy from me if I can add that little bit of information along with that. So these are some of the examples.
Thanks. Great. Mayank, you are different. You are a brand and you are a retailer.
Most different amongst everyone.
So you just tell us
and
about
it was not that my idea that I started Domino's online ordering. It was the company's idea to start.
Yeah.
And it started not because, so it started way early in 2011 when Domino's online ordering started. And it started with an idea when we saw the markets outside India, they were doing good in online ordering and e-commerce was flourishing over there. So the thought was, why not to have it in India also? And it will actually add on to the business. It will be an incremental sale to the offline business. So we started in 11 when the sale, so initially it didn't pick up. It had its own operational challenges. Domino's had its own 30 minutes guarantee. And now I can say that we are the lucky ones that in the market outside India also, we are the ones who offer 30 minutes guarantee on online. So that's a huge difference, and that took a lot of pain in understanding the localities which are, so there are various problems in India. So you need to start working on it and probably come out of how you can plan it in terms of giving those problems a solution. So locality was the biggest problem. Then we came out with a solution in terms of defining those locality based on the stores. So every area was mapped. Drivers were sent to store and map those areas. So which are the localities which can be delivered within the 30 minutes guarantee span, including that time of baking the pizzas. So that was one. And then we also started, the initial start had various challenges in terms of the acceptability of online payments which we had. One of that, the people were more keen in paying cash for the small payments of order value of around 350 and all. They were not keen in doing the online payment. And which then also add on to lot of manageability in terms of how to identify who is the willingness customer who wants to pay or who is actually playing with the system. So that all the journey went through and we started, and now we are sitting at a number of 20% to the contribution of delivery sale, though it's still less when we compare to the market outside India, which is sitting on more than 50% contribution to the offline business.
Okay.
So the scope is high, and we are hopeful we will be reaching sooner there.
So to summarize, almost 70% of your business happens through deliveries, right? So you're as much as any other...
Not 70%, but it's around more or less now 60-40 and 50-50. So it has... So it's
moved
now,
more towards stores,
yes,
huh?
Yes.
And out of that, what's getting delivered, 20% is now happening through the online channel.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So
okay. And you expect from other benchmarks that could go up to as high as 50%?
Yes. So because if we see the markets outside India who are... India was having its own challenge in terms of the connectivity infrastructure, which is improving day by day, which is challenge outside India also. And if you see the countries who are very good in terms of the infrastructure needs, suppose Korea you talk about Australia, you talk about Japan. So there the percentage of delivery, so the percentage contribution of online to the offline sale is more, so it's more than 50%. So the sooner the infrastructure will improve, you will be able to see the lot of business getting generated, and people would be going towards.
So is your category a space where it's kind of an opportunity that no horizontal exists today?
So my category is something like, so we started something at a point, and we are still the leaders in the market. We are the largest food ordering online in India.
Yeah.
And there are aggregators which are coming up. The competition is rising for us in terms of, if you see the keywords bidding which is there, which was very easy for us earlier, but the competition is rising high now. And with Food Panda, Just Eat, all the international players in aggregator business coming up. And the new players also, the people are competitors like Pizza Hut, they have also started on the online business. So the competition is rising, but there is a different story that for us, it is not just that we have to maintain our website. we have to maintain our online business in a sense that probably we can go and start integrating with others. So if I have to say, probably I would love to integrate with Travel Khana, and I'll say that I'll offer you those restaurants which come in between those railway stations, and probably we can have those integrations, and we can go and so similarly we are integrating with Food Panda and others. So we are talking with those people. But yes, there is a chance of horizontal integration also if
or a vertical, right? Yeah. Makes sense. Let's come back from that side. Samir, do you want to, the next question usually, which is a more generic question that, well, okay, it makes sense, vertical has a few nuances and you can do a few things there. But does that lead to sufficient scale opportunity, given online itself as a channel is pretty small in India? We're all hopeful it will become big, but if that's pretty small and you're doing one category there on a nuance, does it become large then?
I think that's a very, very valid concern, and frankly speaking, nobody knows the answer. We are hopeful that scale will increase. The thing is, the way we look at it is the categories that we operate in, how big are these markets in the offline space? So if we size the sort of offline health market, and obviously healthcare is a very, very broad term. So you can slice and dice it based on, the categories that you're trying to go after. And then the second order analysis that you'll do is what is the level of penetration which is expected in these categories. So if the answer is, you expect, this is an under-penetrated category and down the line, this will have a faster growth based on the penetration, that is where you have to really pick the battle. Obviously, if you're playing the vertical game, that analysis can really be off, and you can be on the wrong side of the fence. But you have to constantly evaluate, because it's also a moving target. We have picked health as an umbrella, but health can be defined as fitness. It can be defined as a medically oriented kind of this thing. So we keep adding subcategories. But the idea is still to be focused enough, but maintain that balance. So scale will never match the horizontal scale, but hopefully it is deep enough for us to create a meaningful offering.
And does the trade-off on scale lead to better unit economics at least? That's the other challenge that...
Certainly, yes. And I think there's a different set of expectations from a vertical player. One being that there has to be, it is not purely a scale game. So the capital efficiency which is being deployed and path to profitability has to be a lot more concrete. And given that you are limited by a particular vertical, the expectation of margins is also much higher. And I think the answer to that is, again, given that you are a vertically oriented player, you should be able to charge a premium or maybe have a product mix such that you are able to influence buying decisions more compared to a horizontal, and henceforth there's a expectation for a higher margin.
Got it. And just building, thanks. So building further on that, the growth that overall e-commerce is seeing and is being enjoyed by the horizontals comes at the cost of unit economics to an extent, right? And if you're growing very quickly, capital becomes cheap, and you can continue to plow back more and more inside this. So maybe Pushpinder, do you want to talk about your business, that what are the kind of unit economics? You're solving a hard problem. Do you get paid for solving that hard problem in terms of unit economics?
Yeah, so we basically are currently trending at about 22% in terms of a commission.
Okay, 22%.
22% of the sales that we get. And then we've increased that from 12% to 22%, which is currently, without really compromising on like a lot of orders. And the other thing is that in terms of us, as I again repeat that we are like a different, not really a traditional e-commerce. So in terms of the scale or the opportunity available, there are about 8.24 billion train passengers a year, every year in Indian Railways, out of which 1.25 is about long distance train travelers. Each long distance train traveler is on an average 770 kilometers, which really is about 12 to 13 hours depending upon the average running time of the train, which presents like 2 meals. So it's about 3.5 billion meals a year, which people need in Indian trains. So the scale is definitely available. It's for us to basically go and create that. However, there is this problem of people were not really used to this kind of, so it's like something which e-commerce would have faced something like 4 or 5 years ago. So people were not really used to ordering in trains like this. And that's exactly what we are really solving. And the way the searches are growing on a month-to-month basis, we are very comfortable that the scale exists, and we are here to solve that problem.
Got it. Thanks. You have a grocery business, right? So I think that market is large. Maybe just talk about what are the challenges, or maybe if unit economics is a challenge, just talk about what are the pain areas in the business that you're solving.
Yes, very rightly brought by Samir that the lateral entrance into the market would definitely depend on the kind of market and the size of the market. So basically, grocery market is huge. It's very huge. I mean, if you see at the present, there are still more than 5 big players working in offline mode, and the people are running successfully. I mean, successfully in the sense the people are serving customers and they have enough market to capture. They have enough more market to capture. There are a lot more challenges when we talk about online groceries as a business, because I'm not sure how many of you would consider grocery as a thin line business, but it isn't. It isn't. The challenge in online groceries runs around the complexity of the operations. Because I would tell you, in a single order, I would have more than 35 SKUs to be delivered. And each SKU has its own 10 variants, at least 10 variants. So a single variant being mismatched, the customer goes off. So the complexity of the operation is the biggest challenge in online groceries, along with the implementation of the technology. Because again, when the customer shops online, whether it's on Flipkart or Mantra, I mean, at most he would be picking 5 items in his cart, but whereas when he comes to Go Peppers, he has to, sort out 35 to 40 odd SKUs. So, the user experience on the website is again a very big challenge. And when talking about unit economics, again, it's a very interesting thing. I mean, it's a very hyper-local market. I'm running in Noida and Ghaziabad. I'm not serving the entire Delhi NCR. The reason because if I open the entire market for the deliveries to be done, the unit economy won't work. I prefer to select geographies which has high density of population, because I mean, the only unit economics would work because a single order would have an average size of around 1200 to 1500. So I prefer to choose an area which has high density of population in a geography. Only it will work.
Only then does that business work. Interesting. Thanks. Samir, maybe the scale question, and then
just want to repeat what Samir Maheshwari said, that the niche boys are never going to be at a scale of the big boys. But when I looked at this business, there were, I think, 2 interesting factors. The first factor was, is this something big enough that a venture capitalist would be interested in? And when we did the numbers, we said, yes, this is something that has sufficient amount of opportunity and scale and potential. So it's something that, yes, would make sense. And the second factor for us is, yes, unit economics, or what I call profitability. So 2 schools of thought. You can have a $100 million business with minus $1 million in sort of EBITDA, or you can have a $50 million business with plus 10. So I'm quite comfortable being on the second side, having a plus EBITDA. And definitely, adult products does have a reasonably good margin. And the other way we look at it is that not only do we do unit economics, we believe it's scalable. But one thing I'd like to point out is that we have a concept on our website that if you order less than 500 rupees, then you have to pay 70 rupees as a, delivery charge or some cost or the other. And we thought that most Indians would probably come to a figure of 500 or 501 and try and avoid the 70 rupees as far as possible. That's me as a person. But we were just amazed at the number of people who don't mind spending 70 rupees for this product and service. And when we actually called a few of them and said, look, is there any reason why you're stopping at, let's say, 330 and not going up to 500? They were like, at 70 rupees, we believe that it's better to buy it from you than be standing in front of a pharmacy with 10 people looking at us as to what we want to buy. So the answer is yes, people are ready to also pay a premium for the kind of product and service that you sort of can combine and give them in terms of solving their customer purchase issue.
Thanks. So I don't think we have too much time, so I'll ask one final question, which is maybe narrate one area within your business where you've used technology to just really impact the experience for the end consumer or just change things meaningfully.
Sure. So we are an e-commerce company primarily, and an e-commerce company has people visit the website, buy products, and then the website delivers the product to their preferred address. We were exactly the same format. But after we launched, we got a lot of customer feedback telling us that, look, we want to buy your products, but we don't want your products coming to our house or to our whatever office address or whatever. So please sort us out. And we went back to the drawing board and said, okay, what really can we do? And we said, okay, we're going to tie up with one of our prime logistics partners and use their office network in the country, where the customer can give us his or her PIN code. We will map all the offices of our courier company next to that PIN code, and the product will reach that office, they'll get a call, and the customer will have to go and pick it up, or can send anybody, friend, driver, maid, anybody. And today we find nearly 15% of our orders are coming from this unique concept where we're the only people in the country doing. So we're using technology, we're using logistics, we're using innovation, and doing something so different by being an e-commerce company saying, okay, fine, we're not going to deliver to your house, we're going to deliver to a place where you're comfortable to go pick it up from. So that's one thing that's in terms of how we are so different in e-commerce.
See, till now our sole focus on the technology part is to help the customer or feel him or her comfortable while picking up the SKUs or making his or her cart. So the user experience is the thing that we had tried to implement on the website so that you could very well, pick up all your 35 odd out.
You mean the complexity of SKUs, just simplifying that experience?
Yes.
Okay.
To that extent.
Okay, thanks. Pushpinder?
So basically ours is, I can keep on talking about that. But one of the main thing which a lot of people can really relate to is that once you order, so the train is tracked, and the train just before 20 kilometers of arrival of that station where you are going to be delivered, you get a SMS and you get a reminder that you should be ready with this much amount and you should not move from your seat. And so as a customer, it goes to each of the customer, and it also goes to the supplier that now that that the food is to be made ready and you should be at the station right now. So this kind of a thing which basically helps us to control and limit the undeliveries. So basically we can do that. Plus I can keep on talking more.
Thanks. Thanks.
I think technology is always an interesting one. It's always a moving target, and no matter how much you go after it, it's always a moving target, especially for an e-commerce company. Some of the interesting things that we're working on is we have few offline stores, and the whole idea is to solve a problem to provide an integrated customer experience. So it comes both ways. So from an online customer perspective, he should be able to place an order and seamlessly be delivered from the store or allowed to be picked up from the store. But more interestingly, how do you sort of re-emphasize the health cart brand to a customer, offline customer who walks into a store who has a very different mindset? So just some innovation around creating a kiosk, re-emphasizing the content with reviews and all that, and having a consular-driven approach is sort of something that we are trying right now.
Thanks, Samir.
Hi. So in our case, because we were traditionally offline and we have to correlate to the online business, we have to do lot of bridge map building to actually build up that bridge so that people feel more comfortable online. So there are many, some of them were like the pizza tracker was one of them, that people can real time see what is the status of their current pizza and their order. I mean, it got a tremendous response from the customer. People were liking on Facebook, they were talking about it. So that was one good thing which we did. Again, then there were other issues which were related, being the traditional that 30 minutes guarantee. So the 30-minute guarantee, which is there for offline, we were offering that online. And that too, you can customize your pizza. And how beautifully you can customize your pizza. You can add more toppings. You can replace the toppings. So they can play around with their pizza the way they want it, and then they can order it. So that was the topping on the order they wanted. Then we had the challenges in terms of the payment system. So people used to, so again the challenge was that the company had that man force which was traditional, and they were very much into that bookish kind of financing. And so this, to overcome that, we came up with a technology system wherein everything, including the settlement to everything, was happening automatically within the system. And even there is a refund that happens automatically, and an automatic email goes to the customer updating about the refund, that this much was the amount of the order which got cancelled, even in case of the 30 minutes guarantee. So if you are ordering a cash order and probably the order is late, you will not pay the cash. But in case of credit card order or a payment gateway order, how would you do it? So we have to say then that the money would get refunded through online. Same money would be transferred back to you, and that we have to maintain, and that was the thing which we maintained online, so that within the 7 working days or 14 working days, that money gets back to the customer and he gets delighted that yes, we are keeping those promises.
Thanks, Mayank. So I'll maybe quickly summarize at least 3 broad thoughts which are coming out. One is that there are very clear nuances. In some, like Pushpinder, your business, it's very obvious, but in others also that are specific to the category and need to be solved separately. Second is that you guys are all using very interesting ways through technology to solve some of those problems. And I think finally the general belief is that there's a trade-off between scale and unit economics. And because you're doing something which is going one step further, the unit economics and the health of these businesses is arguably better than just trying to go for mad growth. I'll stop there. Let's see if audience has questions. Otherwise, I have maybe a couple more questions that I'll ask. So go ahead. Just maybe introduce yourself and the panelists to whom you'll like to ask the question.
Tell a little bit about it, please.
And maybe, Samir, talk about the mobile overall, if you are to talk about this.
Is it audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So cover 2 parts here. So obviously, one thing that I wanted to emphasize is a lot of growth of e-commerce is driven by mobile. Currently, at least most of the e-commerce companies are getting anywhere between 25 to 40% of their traffic from mobile, and this is the channel which is actually growing. Desktop channel hasn't grown that much, but this is the core driver of why people believe e-commerce is going to be what it is going to be in the next couple of years. Just to give a perspective, this number used to be around 10%. Probably if you look at the same number last year. So there's a tremendous amount of ramp up which is happening in mobile, and you have obviously seen a lot of even TV commercials by e-commerce companies focus on mobile. From our perspective, we have 2 sets of things that are being worked on mobile. One is we have a property called healthcartplus.com. This is our generic drug medicine search engine, and the bigger use case is mobile. So it has a pretty popular mobile application. The use case is people, if they are looking for salt ingredients of any medicine available in the country, or want to do a price comparison of the same salt by different manufacturers, this information is available in Health Card Plus. So we were also very pleasantly surprised. There were a lot of people interested in this application. So this is a full-fledged mobile application. Plus, we don't have a mobile app that is in the works for Health Card platform, but we have a mobile site which is constantly being sort of optimized for mobile conversions, but we are actively working on mobile to answer your question.
Hello. Yeah, hi Samir. I'm Amit from 72 Interactive. Tell me, how do you handle challenges regarding prescription one, and where customers are ordering medicine not in full strips, like in pieces, like you see in local retail store, wherein you go, you buy a medicine, you say, okay, give me for 2 days or 3 days, instead of buying a full strip. So how do you handle these kind of challenges? Do you entertain, or you say probably you'll sell the entire strip?
Yeah. So first of all, just to be clear, healthcard.com, we don't sell anything prescription. So Health Card Plus, that's why we have separated the property, because there's a different set of regulations for medicine, medicine-related commerce or retail. In Health Card Plus, we have a marketplace model. So number one, we ourselves are not sort of buying and selling the medicines. We work with suppliers who basically, and we create this marketplace where we provide the delivery services to the consumer. So two questions. One is regarding the prescription. So by regulation, the pharmacists need to actually see the prescription while dispensing. So the way we solve this problem is everyone who places an order with Health Card is supposed to upload the prescription, and we have an in-house team which is sort of consists of pharmacists and also doctors who basically validate this prescription at our end. But ultimately, technically, it's a legal responsibility of the supplier that we are working with. The second question being, somebody is looking for, let's say, 6 versus a strip which contains 10. So currently, the idea is only to provide the complete thing. I'm not sure where it is right now, but as soon as sort of the volumes increase, this is a problem which can be solved with the supplier, because it doesn't disrupt their existing processes, because we are kind of validating the prescription and we are an aggregator, and these guys would be supplying. So ultimately, it will be just working like how you would buy a medicine offline.
Hello. So when you're uploading the prescription and somebody in backend is reviewing it and approving it, so when does the payment happen? It happens only once the prescription is approved, or does it happen before the prescription? Like if you have heard about drugstore, which is there in UK, it follows a similar pattern in this case. They get the prescription uploaded, it gets reviewed, and then the payment and all thing happen. So do you work on the same manner, or does you have some other kind of model?
So currently we don't have a payment gateway on Health Card Plus, so it is all cash on delivery. So that is because again I'll re-emphasize, because this is a sort of a different model for us. So definitely in early stages, because it's a marketplace model compared to a Health Card model where we are largely inventory led. So we only have cash on delivery service, so that problem doesn't arise. But if that was to be the case, then theoretically and hopefully we also invest a little bit in technology where we are able to validate or maybe ask for certain information which will allow us for a quicker validation. But theoretically it will be, payment should be accepted or be authorized post validation of prescription.
So in that case,
can you please take it offline just so that we can have others also ask their questions? Yeah. Before you go, is there a question for anyone else on the panel? We will come back to you if there is no other question.
Hello. My question is to Mr. Pushpinder Singh. I can see internet connectivity can be one of your hindrances while customer is on the go, especially on the trains. So how can you manage to cope up with this kind of bottleneck?
Yeah, actually, even I used to think that, but we are getting a tremendous growth from the mobile. And our entire strategy is actually slowly shifting towards mobile. So, I assume that mobile connectivity is very good on trains. I was recently in Kashmir last week. And Kashmir, I'm not sure if people know that, it's a restricted territory. So I was not getting any signal, like one cannot really send a SMS. And my phone was a postpaid phone, so I could really run it. But any phone which is outside of Kashmir cannot really send a SMS from Kashmir, out of Kashmir to, and cannot even receive it. But my WhatsApp was working, and my WhatsApp was working on top of the hill and on top of any place that I would go to. So that's actually, in my view, a very big myth. If you really go into the trains, you just see people using Android phones. They use it along the way, and they are using it like completely to look at news and to look at different things.
So are you planning to
that's actually changing. Now, I have a telecom background as well, so I can tell you from the telecom perspective, whenever network planning is happening, it is actually happening especially along the train routes as well as the highway routes. So the telecom companies actually don't want to leave that revenue out. So it's there.
Okay, thank you.
And the other thing, just to answer, the mobile application has two channels of communication with the server. So the new version which is getting developed will be able to communicate using a SMS as well. So if the network connectivity is not there, the order will still come to us.
Okay, there's someone at the back there, a lady.
My name is Lakshmi and I'm from Smart on Learning. My question is to all the panelists. All your companies are clearly on a growth trajectory. What role does talent have in helping you in this growth? And secondly, how easy or how difficult is it for you to find the right talent for this sector?
So it has a significant role for us. I have different aspects, operations, and then there is technology, and then there is product management. And we are actually having a bad time in finding a talent. So talent is actually very, very important, and it's not very easy to procure.
There are people who want to be associated with any of these companies, just approach them. So let me answer two parts. So out of, let's say, every 10 candidates, what we find is between 7 and 8 are completely flawed with our business plan and ready to bet their careers on us and say we are ready to take a salary, a cut, but we want to work with you because we believe that 3 years from today we will be in a different position from where we are currently. Having said that, 2 out of 10 are people like, no way, you offer me $1 million, I cannot do this. My family will never allow me to do this. I can't be seen in public by being in the business I am, which is adult products. So it's a bit of both. So overall, I would say it's not difficult to hire talent. 7 out of 10 people want to join us, but you do find a certain set of people who would definitely just say, no, we will not be part of this. Yeah. Where would you be? Would you join an adult product website? How many of you all would join?
Yeah, most people would have that ratio the other way around, I can tell you that. All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much, all the panelists, and thank you so much, Samir.
Thanks so much, Mr. Anshoo, Sharma, and all the panelists, Samir, Salil, Pushpinder, Samir, and Mayank. Thank you so much.